check, but here we go, take one. And if you see me doing this from time, if I make any mistakes, I could blame the hat, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. Oh, wait. No, this is what I want to do. I'm going to stump you guys. Oh, now you got it. The ending gave it away, didn't it? Okay, I got to take this off. It's hard to see what I'm doing. It was. I used the style called Venus, but I don't know if you knew that beforehand, but I wanted to try a different style with that just to see what would happen. So what I'm going to do is have a little fun here and give you a history lesson on rhythm styles to some degree. You may have... you're going to have wealth of knowledge here. Oh, wait, there's another hat that I missed. Mr. Freddie Bush. Ooh. Okay, so rhythm styles to me is the most important part of our playing, isn't it? I mean, we select a song and then we find a rhythm. And sometimes we do song setup to give us the rhythm and we change. But behind the rhythms are all these fabulous setups and rhythm presets and things like that. So I just wanted to have some fun and take you on a little tour since 2001. 2001 was when the first SU, or touchscreen model, if you will, was introduced. And it had so many wonderful styles on it. Obviously, they kept a lot of the styles that were on the previous platform. And then they added some new ones. And when it was called the Royale. So I don't know if anybody has a Royale, but you do. I think there are a couple of students on that have the Royale. It was also the first time that they introduced the concept, the way the rhythm presets work on all of the SUAs and E's and so forth. So before that, the Lowry organs, the top of the line at that time was called the Majesty. I don't know if everybody's ever heard of that or maybe owned one. But the Majesty had had a lot of great rhythms on it, and it had on the dashboard, the rhythm preset used to be located over by the rhythms. And when the Majesty came out, it was called the LX series, it had 3 rhythm presets. And the one right down below it had 2, and then right below it had 1, like every other organ. So you imagine back in those days, we were selling the heck out of having 3 rhythm presets for every rhythm style. 3 setups for every rhythm. And that was a big deal. So when the Royale was introduced, we turned around and said, okay, so they moved it. This is stuff you already know because you're doing it, but you have your rhythm preset located here, okay? And when you select the rhythm, you have rhythm preset 0, and then you have 10 other presets, and every one catered to the style that you chose. So, for example, let me see. I think I've got a rhythm chart here. Yeah, here we go. Here is a chart of, for example, the Symphony. But what was really clever, what Lowry did over the years is, and this may look a little tiny on the screen. I'll zoom in a little bit. All right. So this panel over here, from big band all the way down to special. Okay, now let me just do this. Okay, disregard this bottom row for a minute. But on the flagship, the Royale, of course, this was all the panel button names. And you could see it said button. And if you just pressed it and you didn't hit anything, this is the rhythm you got, and that's called variation 0. So you'll see a lot of great styles. Basically, the Royale had this panel, and if you had like a Rhapsody or something like that, it might have a few less buttons, but it was very similar. So if you had the Royale 0, you had variation 0, 1, 2, and then if you push 2 buttons together, you had variation 3, and then 4, and then 5. Now this here, I'm going to get back to this. Okay, this used to be basic. It still is, should I say. And I'll come back to that. And so the Royale went up to variation 5, and then originally this was a basic button. Okay, so if you're on today and you have a Royale or A or SU or E, you know you have everything up to the number 5. And for the most part, many of those styles are located in the same place. Now, there was a slight change on the EX when it came out because they added so many other styles. They had to retitle some of those names, and I'll pull up that screen in a little bit. So what I want to do, in 2001, when the Royale came out, there's so many great styles. It's just like, it was kind of like I just closed my eyes and I put my finger on the screen. And if it was a new style that was introduced, I said, that's the one I'm going to play today. So, and what was really great is I'm going to use some of these presets. So I'll play this style and then tell you what it is, and then tell you what setups I used as I was playing. So here we go. Let's see, this one here. This is the one I wanted to feature. Here we go. All right. See if you can name the style after we're done. Transpose back down to where it should be. Oh. Thank you very much. Anybody know what style that was called?
Song of India?
Nope. It's similar though, isn't it? Yeah, there is a style called is it Song of India or something India? Song.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but it isn't. That was the Vegas big band style.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then I used, if you're taking notes, I played a minor chord, and it kind of gives you a little bit of that Gene Krupa feel. But when I held the fill-in down, if you have drum variation off, the drummer will give you a Buddy Rich drum solo, and if you put on drum variation on, it'll give you the Gene Krupa drum solo. And then I use rhythm preset 0, 6, 2, and 10. So I hope you got that. Don't ask me 3 songs from now because I may not remember. Because what I'm doing is what I tell a lot of students to do. Pick a rhythm, turn it on, put on your rhythm preset, put it on your preset screen. And I said, if you ever see us just kind of looking and going like this, it's because we're looking to see which sound we want next. That's which is what I did. Now, you know what? Flash news, flash update. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to draw a winner right now. I just thought about it. I'm not going to wait till later. All right? I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to try to walk to my computer without knocking it over, and I'm going to point to the screen. If you have your video on and I land on you, you're going to win the prize that I told you. So this is your chance to get your video back on to win. I'm going to do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You never know what I'm going to do in the spur of the moment, right? Okay, so there's my computer. I'm going to walk over. Am I close, Cecilia? Am I close? I got someone here. I'm going to have to give you a prize, too. I think you have it already, but she's going to make sure I don't knock mine. Am I on the screen? Okay, let's see. Oh, left. Okay, I got to do it again. I landed on the right side of my screen. Okay, here we go. Am I in the middle, sort of? Okay. Am I on somebody? Okay. I just landed on this guy right here. Mr. Stewart with his fancy raccoon hat. Okay, Stewart, you won. Now, do me a favor. When I get you this prize, don't go try selling it on eBay or anything like that, all right?
No, nothing like that.
If you do, I want some royalties.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Just trying to have some fun here. Okay, let's go back to my chart here. So now I'll give you a hint. So the next row over here, you'll see this 7. Okay, I want to again reiterate, 6 is commonly known as basic on many rhythm styles. Okay, we'll go on many organs. But on when the Stardust and the Grand Royale was introduced, row number 7 was introduced. Okay, and you're going to notice this down here, those highlights. I'll get back to that later. But you'll see that there's all of these styles there. I'm going to choose one. I have a couple that I chose, and I'm just going to do whatever. I actually might do 2 songettes. How's that? I'll do 2 songettes. Put the camera back on the organ here. Let's see. All right. I'll do 2 songettes. And let's see here. I forgot where I was going to do. Oh. All right. All right. I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to select that one. And I'm going to hear somebody's background noise. I'm going to, let me just do a little. Sorry, got too much. Mute. Oh.
It's pretty real stupid. You're running away from the one person who wants to help you.
Hold on. My computer's not working the way it's supposed to, but okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'll play a couple songettes for you, and then have some fun with this, and hopefully teach you something a little new. Here we go. that was? Well, it was a Latin style. That was called Tito's Big Band. And the song I played, many people aren't familiar with this style or song. It was Miami Beach Rumba. Okay, but I play it, that's more like seems like a mambo cha-cha. And I use rhythm preset 0, then number 4, and then number 10. Now I'm going to play a little style for you. I'm not going to play the song, but I'm going to see if you can guess the name of the style. All right? Then we got to find it. Okay, here we go. No, that's not it. Here we go. Try it. Take 2. Here's the ending. Does anybody know the name of that style? Now the song, that what if I had had the music and played it, the theme to Perry Mason, right? Remember Perry Mason? Da, 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 da. Now the style, some people know this because I've mentioned it over the years, but not very often. This is the name of this. This is the style that I was just using, but I'm going to play a major chord instead. Oh, by the way, I use this style, but intro 2 with a minor chord. And I'll tell you what the style is in a second, but you might be able to guess it. I'm going to play a major chord, intro 1. Ready? Remember how to play it. Of the style was called, any guesses? Oh, you're all muted, so no wonder I can't hear anybody. Life. L-I-F-E, L period, I period, F period, E period. And if you use that style on a major chord, you get the That's Life signature style. If you do intro 2 and you do a minor chord, it'll give you that Perry Mason theme introduction. Fun. So hopefully you're learning something new there. All right, onward. So the Royale was introduced in 2001, if I'm giving you some history. In 2003, the Grand Royale was introduced. And that was a full pedal board model, and it had all those new styles. And then they came out with a Stardust, where they came out with a regular platform like this without the full pedal board, and introduced the color screen on it and a lot of those new styles you saw on the screen. So the Grand Royale and the Stardust have the same styles on them, okay? And then after the Stardust, not too long after, I want to say about 2 years later, Lowry introduced an organ called the Palladium, which basically introduced a lot of great new styles. And those same styles were also introduced on the Prestige. So some of you are familiar with that model. And so going back to my screen here, let's see. My computer is not working the way I want it to work. Let me get it back to this. Okay. Screen share. Okay, here we go. So I'll go back to the chart. So the row 7 were all the styles introduced on the Stardust and the Grand Royale. And then on the row 8, that was all those Prestige styles. Now, again, I'm going to come back to this thing with the color on it. So I'm going to pick, well, this was a hard one because I wanted to play so many styles in this category, but it was actually just just absolutely phenomenal. Oops, what is my computer doing? My computer is not doing something. Bear with me, folks. Oops, am I still there? Yes. Okay. It's doing some weird, strange thing in my view, so sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do is play, and if I'm going to play, I'm going to use music for this one. But this was a style that many people fell in love with. But I'm going to play a few notes of a song that you can use other stuff with it first, and then I'll play the song that the style is designed for. Push that, and let's see here. Such a pretty style for a lot of songs like that. Any guesses what style that's called?
San Fran.
Nope. You would
No?
think. I did that on purpose. Hard songs? No. Okay, now I'll play the song that it's the style that it's designed for the song, and it'll be kind of a dead giveaway. Here we go. Let me put on my music. You can't see the music from there, but she might be able to see it from here. Here we go. Notice the fills. Oops, take two. Well, the style was called Unforgotten, and when I played it the first time, what I did is I used intro 2, and I had altar style on. When it's off, it does, all that stuff I was doing, my hands in the air, that's all built into the background, okay? And I didn't do any other preset on that except for the same tempo, actually, works nicely. The tempo is whatever comes up with it. I don't know what it is now. It's a 78. And all I did was use rhythm preset 0 and play it on the top and the lower right. EX, that would be vintage, by the way. So Everything I'm showing right now, just remember vintage. All right. Now let's go to our chart here. Let's see what I have up next on the menu. I got to find my chart. Uh-oh, did I minimize my chart? Yes, I did. Let's see. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't lose it. There we go. Okay, there it is. All right. Share, screen, share. Okay. Now if you go to number 9, that was all of the styles that were introduced on the Imperial and subsequently in the Sterling. Now the Sterling went a step further, and that was when the pianist and guitarist were introduced. So this bottom row that you see with the blue bar around it, that represents all the pianist and guitarist styles that were introduced. So there was an extra button there, but basically I'm going to play one full style. I'll do a couple songettes. I want to play a lot more music for you here. I'll start off with, here's one that I think will be a lot of fun. I've featured this in some of the classes and in concert and so forth. And it's a style that I only use for this one song. Someday I have to try and get creative and find other songs for it. I heard Dennis All play Temptation with this style, believe it or not. But the style's called Slumdoggy. And if you play the intro, it's from Slumdog Millionaire, the movie. All right. But I learned a trick from Joe Fontesha a long time ago. I'm going to take the same style, play a minor chord, and let's see. Let me put on some strings. Here we go. And then I have something. This is the style I typically use when I play this song. Of course, in the pianist and guitarist category, obviously many of you know who have those styles. You're starting to get in the styles that many of you are used to. You have your pianist and guitarist. You have a little rock and roll piano here. This is where Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry come together. I got to back up. On the Slumdoggy style, I did use style setup number 4, by the way. I forgot to tell you. And then I just reached up and used some of my alter styles and drum variations. On this style here, what's really fun, the pianist, the rock and roll piano, a lot of the pianist and guitar style, 0, 1, and 2 rhythm preset, don't bring in the full band. It's either a guitar or a piano player. So if you hear 0, for example, but if you do number 10, 10 and 0 are the same. Bonus tip. On a lot of the pianist and guitar styles that were introduced, rhythm preset 0 and 10 are the same. The difference is here's 0, here's 10. fake it button. You don't even have to have auto fake it, but you can go. Make that face when you're playing the guitar. And of course, on the Patriot, you go. So you're kind of learning here that basically, depending on the organ you have and where you're at, you know everything was just gradual over time. All right? So on number 10, you'll see that there is that's all the Patriot styles. And I can pick any one of them. This is the one that my finger landed on. You know, do I have the music for it? Oh, yes. Let me put the music. I don't want to goof this one up. And then I'm just going to use rhythm preset on this one. so I did some things on purpose. It wasn't just showmanship. It was like, pay attention to what I'm doing. So all I did, if you could see it from there, is when I got to certain parts of the song, I did the no chord, but what you couldn't see on the foot is I activated the fill at the same time. So that way, when I got kind of gave it, you could really feel the drums when you're doing that. And then I was just on rhythm preset 0 on the top and the bottom. And then towards the end of the song, I decided to go to number 4, which automatically kicks in the drum variation for you. All right? Okay. Yes? Question, somebody?
No, I just said that I was just going to say that's one of my favorite songs.
It
Circle
is.
of Love.
Isn't it a beautiful
Of
song?
life, I'm sorry.
Circle of life, but it is
Yeah.
meant to be
Oh,
about full of love.
Love it.
Yes. All right. Now, moving on. So this was kind of tricky because I was like, well, if I'm going to go through the years here, I got to somehow go Symphony, Marquee, Grand Marquee, and Aria all at once. And that's a lot of organs, right? Well, I found out a way. All right. So for those of you who have the Symphony, if you're looking at this rhythm chart here, basically over the years, like I said, they grow. So just a little fun fact for you. The Royale has 168 rhythm styles with 11 rhythm presets. You do the math. That's a lot of great presets. That's why we make such a big deal about rhythms, because the more rhythms you have and use, the more presets you have at your disposal. The Stardust had 192, and you guys can do some fact checking on this. Make sure I'm giving these accurate numbers, but I think they're pretty close. If not, if I'm off, it'll be off by 1 or 2. When the Prestige was introduced, there was 216. The Imperial was introduced. There was, now the Prestige, by the way, when it was introduced, it introduced 2 rhythm presets, organ and a rhythm preset. And so that meant that there was 22 setups for every style, not 11. So it almost doubles the amount of presets. When the Sterling was introduced, or the Imperial, it was 264 minus 24, 240, okay? And the Sterling came out, it had 264 styles, and then when the Patriot is introduced, it had 286, okay? Now, after that came the Marquee, actually there's a Liberty. Liberty had 319, I don't have that listed here, but everything that you see on here, the Liberty has, with the exception of the basic category. It had 319 styles, and then when the Marquee was introduced, it jumped up to 352 styles. Woo! And they added another rhythm preset button, so there were 3 rhythm presets. There was a style setup, vintage, which is work the way it used to. That's a short answer for it. And then the organ. So there were 33 setups for 352 styles. You do the math, that's a lot of style, a lot of presets. And the Grand Marquee was 374, and the Aria was 396, if I did the math right. Okay, pretty close to that. The Symphony was an interesting, very unique model, and the reason why it was introduced in 2020, and there are not many of those made in the world, because what Bill Curry and other individuals, former Lowry people, did is they were able to take the existing platform of the Sterling, the Patriot, and so basically you see all that there, and you can see this B category, which used to be basic, which for the most part many people did not use the basic rhythms. And so what Bill Curry did cleverly is he took styles from the Liberty, Marquee, Grand Marquee, and Aria, and they're all put into here, and they're all cleverly titled with a B sharp in front of it, followed by the style. Now, he wanted Bill Curry, if you've ever met Bill Curry, he always tries to push the limit. He wants to put more and more. So what he did is these orange highlights There's a few other styles that he had to put in there, like the Smiles rhythm, which he retitled Isle Smiles, Rocky Tiger from the Marquee, Out There Ballad from the Liberty, that he retitled a little differently, Mary Conga. And then over here, in these two styles here, he cleverly disguised two styles in the altar style, the Love Ballad on the Symphony with altar style as the My Girl rhythm. And I forget what the old time rock, I want to say it's the Elephant Boogie, but don't quote me on that. So I'm going to play some of these styles, and I can kind of take care of your Symphony, Marquee, Grand Marquee, and Aria all in one shot. Okay, so I think the first one I want to play, you know what? I haven't done this one in a while. I'm going to, let me play a little ditty with it first, and then see if you can name the style, and then I'll play the song that was meant for. Let's see here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit so you don't hear. Oh, wait, let me put it on. Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Oh, I loaded them up earlier so I'd have them right within my reach. Okay, here we go. Let's see, which one is it? No, not that one. That one's fun too. I play that one all the time. Okay. There he is. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see. I don't know. You might be a giveaway, but let's see. Well, I had fun. Anybody guess the style? If you're trying to say something, you can unmute. You're all muted. See, you're supposed to keep them muted and then unmute. Any guesses? Okay, let me play the style again and the song that it was designed for. You're going to go, oh, how come I didn't guess that one? Okay, let's go. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. I had some really good setups in here I wanted to try. Okay. did it go? I think on the original song, they actually do fade away. Now, just so if you have that, what I did was rhythm preset 0 was kind of the signature sound for that. Then I went to number, where'd it go, number 2. Then I went to number 2. Then I went to number 4 on the lower keyboard. It has a harmonica. And then I even tried number 5, and it gave me the saxophone at the bottom. EX, I would use the vintage if you wanted those same setups. Here's another one of my favorites that were introduced on the Symphony. It is, I'm going to use the music for this. This was kind of an impressive feat because when those Marquees and Aria, those fabulous instruments were introduced, one thing that they had above every platform before that was quadruple the memory. And it allowed them to do things with the styles a lot longer. So, you know, if you think about rhythm styles, if you go back in time to the early 90s, even if you weren't there, when these organs were out, here's an example. Here's a rhythm style that came out actually in the 80s. And you don't hear us playing it very much anymore. I never play it. And probably because I played it so much for 15, 20 years, I got, okay, I'm tired of playing that style. But you're familiar with it. It's been around since the late 80s, and you have it on yours. All right. It's the old Lawrence Welk style. But when that style came out and many others in that first variation, if you will, those styles were introduced years ago on models that had very little memory. And if you held the fill-in down, if you held it long, it just kept doing the same thing. So it wasn't intended to hold the fill-in a little longer. As the Royales and the Prestiges started to come into play with the styles, along with their, their processing power and so forth. So when you heard me doing the Vegas Big Band earlier as an example, and I held the fill-in down with my foot or your touch bar. No drum variation. And if you hold it long enough, you can hear Buddy Rich just doing multiple things. And some of those styles. Well, when you got up to the Marquee, you were able to do something where the fill-in, if you held it long enough, would do a fill-in. And if you continued to hold it, it becomes a whole nother rhythm, basically. All right? So this song I'm going to play, I'm going to use the music for it. All right? So I don't goof it up. So here's the song. I think it was a one-hit wonder song for her. Her name is Petula Clark. Are you familiar with the name Petula Clark? I see some heads nodding. Okay. Now I can find the song. I know I have it in here. I used this book many times. You know why? Because it says Robert Roman on it. I'm getting close. Here we go. I don't have an L. Okay, here we go. So I learned it in the key of F. So in this song here, when I get to this, when I get to the bottom here, right around here, I put a little asterisk there. I'm going to hold the fill-in. It'll do a fill-in, and then I'm going to continue holding it the whole time I'm playing the song. Okay? And when I do that, it's going to become it's going to be a part of this, it's going to work for that part of the song like the original when she recorded it. Okay? I'm not going to do this because every time I do that, I goof up something and then I get off beat. So I might just say, here it is, or I don't know. Just this at a part where it goes like this. Oops, let me put on the rhythm. Okay. So if you play this song with this style, yeah, so if you play the song with the style, it's going to go something like this. That whole part there, I'm going to be holding the fill-in down the whole entire time. And it's not really a fill-in. It's only a fill-in that leads into that part. So pay very close attention to that. It's really simple. So anybody who has this style, I always say, just put a little star asterisk there, notation, fill, hold. I don't know why I didn't put fill, hold. I put an asterisk. Here we go. What a great song. Stop it, hold the applause. That was the 60s, yeah. That's great style. So, you know, you have some fun with that if you do that. If you're not sure where to put that, just let me know. You know, there's some of you might be familiar with the name Anne Murray. She had a hit song called Snowbird. And if you do the same thing with that style, I won't play the whole song, but, you know, she did. You hold the fill-in down, you get, I like to call them shimmering strings. Now listen. Just holding the fill-in down. Very clever. I'm going to, oh, a little bird in there. I'm going to attempt a song that I haven't played in a very long time. I don't know why I'm even playing the song. I don't think there's anything special presets that I'm using. I'm just going to do the setup that comes with it. There might be a reason why, but I heard a rumor that a lot of people just love this song. And let me just put the rhythm preset on. Rhythm preset. Okay, let's see. Oh, because if you do the fill-ins and you hold the fill-ins, it does certain things. Well, let's see if I can pull it off right. All right, you may know the song. Let's see. So, it's in the key of C. Originally, I had to learn it in a different key with traditional music. And I had to write all of the notes in there because I don't read traditional. And then finally someone came in and said, oh, they have it in the key of C in Easy Play. And I was like, oh, you're about 3 months too late. I wish I'd have had that. Anyway, here we go. What year was this? Cecilia? Cecilia, what year is this? time, you were supposed to unmute and go ba 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 to cover up the mistakes. This is recorded. That's going to be out in the world. But by the way, so yeah, I can remember there were certain things that you do so the band, when you're doing it, would automatically, let's bring out Sweet Carolina again. So if you just turn on Sweet Carolina, the style is what it's called, okay? No drum variation, no ultra style. So you get that going. And then you get to the part of the song where it goes, I just turned on drum variation. So the, let me go back. Let me back up a few measures so you hear it. Drum variation. Okay, and then when you get to the other part, I do the fill-in, and then I bring in the ultra style. Drum variation kicks it in, or the ultra style. And then at the end, you can turn off the drum variation, and then you have. So you can have some fun with that style. Okay, a couple more fun styles, and then I'll show you some setup tips as well. But this one here, oh, I think it's in this book too. Let me just see. Let's just see. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. Now I'm going to try another trick stump you. I'm going to play a couple songs with this style. If you have the Marquee, Grand Marquee, sorry, if you have the Symphony, Aria, you should know what the style is, okay? Actually, I'm not going to put it up because the title's in big bold, so you might be able to see that. So I'm going to see if I can stump you first. I'm going to play the style with a couple other great songs that I love to play with it. And I won't play the whole song, just a little bit of a medley. So let's see here. Okay, rhythm preset. Okay, ready? Anybody guess what style that is? Well, that's what most people would think, Wonderful World. That was the song, but I also started off with Can't Help Falling in Love. Did you catch that? And it's actually such a great style for that. Songs like Wonderful World, everybody goes to the go-to style, what Wonderful World rhythm. But the style that I used, are you ready? Let me see. I got to find it again. Let me go. Yeah, let me get it. Okay. I had to trick you a little bit because if I use the intro, it might have given it away. So I had to try to make it hard for you. The style, here's the introduction. Let's see if you can guess it now. I'll play them. I'll give you a hint. The name of the style is also also the name of the song. This is one of those, what they call the real styles. Are you ready? Here we go. One more for you, and it's actually, I remember when I first tried to learn the song, I thought, gosh, why is this so hard? And then I looked at the music and I thought, this has got to be the easiest songs ever to play. Such an easy song to play, and it just reminded me, we should write a song that's so easy to play like this, because you could make millions probably. So I'll play for you in a second, and then I'll tell you the name of the style. I got to find it here. Before I do it, did you have a good time today? Did you learn something? I know I played a lot of music, but I didn't want to just play a concert. I wanted to kind of show some little tips along the way. Hopefully you had a great history lesson. Boy, you didn't know you were going to go back to school and have a history lesson. So the moral of the story, I guess, if I had to come up with one on the moment, is, and it's actually not really a moral, it's something we've said many times over the years. One of the things that Lowry was very clever with over the years is, especially starting from the Royale, because when that technology was introduced, they kind of kept the same concept over the years functionally. Now, if you look at a Royale and a Stardust and a Prestige, and you go through all the nitty-gritty, you could see how much more each model offers, but functionally they work the same. So if you notice the last, I kind of got on this kick of doing this class every week since the beginning of June. If you noticed, I'm going to say safely 90% or more of what I've taught applies to most models. You know, the way the custom buttons work, the screen options, the how to save a preset, how to put it on a USB. If you have a floppy disk drive, it works the same, okay? What was the last style you used for this song? Oh, the style was called You Don't Know Me. Let me answer that question real quick. Did I see that right? What was the name of the last style? Okay, so the style was called You Don't Know Me, and the name of the song was called You Don't Know Me, but I used it for Wonderful World and Can't Help Falling in Love. So I want to make sure I answer that question. What Easy Play book is Sweet Carolina in? I don't know. If you need a copy of Sweet Caroline, I have the Easy Play version. Send me an email, and I'll be happy to reply back with an attached. So anyway, so functionally they work the same. So what Lowry was really good at, because over the years, and I know some of you, you may have upgraded a couple times over the years, yeah? Maybe 3, 4, 5. Uh-oh, someone's got their hands and toes up. Say it. but one of the things they're very clever at, and we say this to our students, and a lot of times, I can't tell you how many times someone, oh, you're just saying that. Well, I am just saying that, but they've been very clever at making the overall operation be very similar so that when you transition from one model to the next, even this, for example, when this panel came out compared to, say, the Legends and the Prestiges and so forth, it was an initial shock for everyone. They thought, oh my gosh, it's so different, it's so hard. Well, it really isn't. They put less buttons on it, and the buttons work the same, and the screen actually tells us the sound of everything that's in there. So once we got past that, people realized, oh, it's actually easier to use. And then when the Symphony was introduced as an example, it was to me one of the most impressive inventions that Bill has done outside of Lowry, because he did this when he wasn't with Lowry anymore, and he was able to take the existing cabinet and pull stuff from some of these top-of-line models. Now, obviously, you're not going to get everything that those instruments have, but you get a taste of some of those great styles and those sounds in the presets. So anyway, it's a fabulous instrument. So is the Marquees and the Arias and all of the other instruments that you may own. But I have to tell you, I've re-fallen in love, and I'll tell you why. Since I started doing these classes, I had to pick the right instrument to accommodate you Aria and Grand Marquee owners, and this is the highest one that I have. And I had to pick an instrument to accommodate people that have the Prestiges, Legends, Royales, and Stardust, and so forth. So I had to find some common ground that I can go back and forth. And I said, well, I'll just use this one. It'll be perfect. And every week that I do a class or prepare, I keep going, oh my God, I can't believe how great this instrument is. So I guess I could throw in a little commercial. So if you have a Prestige, Sterling, Patriot, Royale, Stardust, Imperial, here's a nice, fun instrument that you could have a lot of fun with. And also, I don't have all the time in the world to show you all the goodies, but I gave you a little taste today. Okay? So with that said, just remember this. We do what we do to provide the best experience for you. Hopefully you're getting that from these classes that I'm doing. All I ask is you have an open mind and explore some of the options we have, because that's how we turn around and we fund all of these wonderful things that we do for our customers. We sell a product, we turn around and invest it into our online classes and this and that, what have you. So we do have a handful of Symphonies. See us. If you have a Marquee and you say, well, I can't buy a Symphony because it's on mine is a higher model, just buy it separately for the other bedroom. That's actually, you know, I say that kind of laughing, but actually I know some people that have a model like this that have 2 organs in the room. Anyway, I'm going to close the show here with a fun number here. It's commonly known to be sung by a gal by the name of Nancy Sinatra, and I don't know any other songs she's done. I just know this one. It's called "These Boots Are Made for Walking." All right, and when you watch, I'm trying to occasionally in some of the songs to show you I'm not really doing anything fancy here. So let me just use the setup I have here. Let's see. All right. Okay, and so I have a real nice just flute sound up here with a duet harmony, and they have what they call an organ combo, the 60s organ combo, and I might even throw a little fake it in there from time to time, but we'll have some fun on here. I want to echo what I said. If you have a Prestige, Prestige Plus, Legend, Royale, Stardust, Sterling, Patriot, if I missed your organ, let me know. This is a great, great option for you. And very affordable, I may add. Here we go. Gotta dance right to it. Hope you learned something today. Okay. Oh, all right. Standing ovation. Okay, stop it. Well, I hope you learned something today, and stay tuned in. I'm going to be sending out a lot of emails for different events and little fun things happening in the next few days. I think I'm going to do a Song of the Month class tomorrow that I forgot to announce. So I'll tell you what song in the email. I have 3 choices. So I might do a rest of the week announcement. Starting on Friday, I want to do a fun thing. I'll kick it off. The staff members are all pretty busy with their in-store stuff. But I'm going to do a featured product of the week, where I might start off one week with our Freedom 3 and then go back in time to a Lowry Legacy, that we don't see very often, and just have some fun showing off all the different models that have come out over the years that are fun. So be on the lookout for the emails. I want to again thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do. And last, one more commercial bit on this Lowry Symphony. Give a hand to the Lowry Symphony for their hard work today. Yes, they worked hard, these guys. And so see you real soon, and thank you very much. Stay safe, and mwah! Take care, everybody.
Bye.